Thanks for joining me. I just wanted to pop by, say hi, and talk to everybody about some very crucial things on my mind. Thank you for the love. I appreciate that. When you consume this content, or when you hear this or see this or experience this, when you're here right now hearing me talk, this message is for you. No, it's not. This is a message for myself, to myself, but I wanted to talk about it out loud with everybody because I feel like we all are having the same kind of problems, just in different ways. So I wanted to talk about solutions. First of all, I'd like to welcome you to my TED Talk. It just wanted to cut off on me just to show me I'm here. Okay, thank you for being here. Computer screen. So here's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about people, humans, respect, and what's going on. How can we exchange more respect? How can we practice what we preach? How can we be the change we seek? Everything has been reversed in a lot of ways. Time has been reversed. How has time been reversed? Well, you'll definitely have to follow me and tune in, lean in more for that, because we talk about that, about time being aspected backwards as far as based on the years, also based on the way that we tell time with a clock. So I'll prove that point another day, right? But so we're already assuming that that's already aspected in the forefront, is that we've already acknowledged everything in reverse. So now that we actually get things and we understand things, we even know we're so much under a spell that we literally are living insane. We are existing amongst and in the energy of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. This is what we're doing. This is how we have been living. This will no longer hold up anymore, thank God, whatever that means. Because it doesn't have to, it doesn't have a leg to stand on, and it cannot. So we have to get over it, we have to get used to it, and we have to move on. If we don't worry, it'll leave us behind. In order to be the change that you seek in this world, anything in this world that you feel like is not doing what it should be doing, anything in this world that you feel like is not being held accountable for its actions, its security, whatever, as human beings, as we are existing, whatever systems we are leaning and counting on as surrogate systems, because we have our own system. We're born in here. As we are forming in the womb, we are coming up with our own system already. Everything that runs your body is running off of a different system. So systems are everything. This is something that I don't even know if my father... I'm starting to think that men are much more wise than women are willing to accept or even listen to. Not all women, only the ones who are the ones. Those. See what I'm saying? A lot of women say that, is what I'm saying. A lot of women say that men are stupid or men are dumb, or and a lot of times this is a very emotionally charged statement made by women who have been tarnished, hurt, or exposed to toxicity from a masculine energy, aka also probably a man. Masculine and feminine are not aspected with genders. I think people also don't realize this. There's a lot of stuff that I don't know, and I know a lot of shit. Two things that I've discovered that make me humble, that keep me humble amongst my ascension, is every day I remind myself that I don't know anything and I am never the exception. This is something I feel like more people need to practice. If we all practice this, we will all reach a level of stability, a level of balance, a level of completion, a level of fulfillment, a level of truth. We will all ascend to a similar place because we need something to ground our systems. Whatever system that you're using, you have to be held accountable for it. If this is life, and if life is a retail store, baby, inventory does come. There's never a time in life when things are not accounted for. Things are always accounted for. That's that quote-unquote God energy, as people talk about. I like to call it the source. You could say that the source is the sun, but also it's more than the sun to me. It's just the everything. I don't like the word God because I feel like God doesn't cover everything. I feel like God is a man-made word that's supposed to try to do that. It doesn't quite reach it. I like to call it the source. And I feel that the way that this energy is right now on the globe, on the planet, we're living in a time of reparations and no one even realizes it. I'm having to go to a place so deep inside myself, I have officially turned inside out. Because in order to do that, I have to do a whole wheel. I have to do all 360. I can't do 359. That doesn't, no. You have to do 360. Once you do that, then you can keep going, and now it starts to turn into a spiral. But you have to close that at the end. If you don't close that, if you don't make that full completion, you get what's called, I don't know, Bible syndrome. This is when you get stuck on the mountain for 40 years, which is essentially what everybody's been doing all this time. We don't consider to complete the problem. We have to have the answer. We have to have the solution. So if we have a problem and we put it in, let's just say a calculator or using an abacus or something, whatever tool you're using to calculate these numbers, math, right? That is a system. Math is a system. When we use math, the equations, the algorithms to come up with answers and solutions, that's really all that is, right? And so because we've been coddled, because we've been spoiled, because the improvements that we've made amongst society has only ruined us because we were not working from the inside out. We said fuck the inside all the way and just went straight to the outs and thought about how the out is going to affect the in, not thinking about how the in is affecting the out at all, not thinking about thinking. This is something that is a feminine energy. Masculine energies cannot really handle feminine energies. Feminine energies can't handle masculine energies. That's why the two coexist together. That's why they're always, it's like if you understand Mercury, the element Mercury, they say that Mercury is always cylindrical, right? It's always just a perfect round ball, if you will. So even if you have all this Mercury and if you drop it and spill it, it's going to turn into what? It's like styrofoam, all those little bitty balls. And if you leave it there long enough, eventually, over time, much like energy, it doesn't multiply. It doesn't deduce. It just moves. Always, it moves. It moves around. And Mercury is magnetic to itself. There are no poles on Mercury. I'm not talking about the planet. I'm talking about the element. Mercury is what it sounds like to me as Matty Wash. As y'all know, I do a Science Sunday show with Matty Wash. I call him the Godfather of Science. He was the one that was explaining to me that I believe it's called surface tension. And that's what Mercury has. It has a lot of surface tension. So essentially, it doesn't allow itself to touch itself though. So there aren't poles because it is the pole. Everything is zeros and ones, right? Everything's fucking dots and lines. Everything's, this is what we have, this is what we're working with. Masculine and feminine, right? So with Mercury just so happens, for Earth, it just so happens to represent communication. Now I'm talking about the planet. The planet Mercury represents communication to us here on Earth. Because all of the planets hold personified feelings, emotions, energy. The same way we are made in his image, guess what? It goes both ways. It's not one-sided ever. It's always both sides simultaneously. And since we can't get our mind wrapped around the fact that I am, well, now we have to at least see I am. We have to see someone else doing I am. I know I am because I am. I'm the only, but I want to see somebody else do I am. If I see somebody else do I am, then I believe I am as I am for sure. This is what we've been doing ourselves for eternity. Trying to figure out. And we get stuck there. And that's where we've been. But I think I have the solution, because the solution would essentially be to change Earth's entire vibration would mean that everybody on the globe simultaneously would have to agree on one thing. Anything. Doesn't matter. Because guess why? We can't even agree on that. Can we agree that if everybody would agree on something at 100% level? I don't mean a 99.99, no. At 100% level. If 100% of people would even agree with that, we can make a change. But in the meantime, in between time, can we worry about everybody else? Because there's only a small percentage of us that's going to actually make it anyway. We already know that. Because there was too much population going on. So there's a lot of people that ain't supposed to be here. That's why there's a lot of things going on that feel like they shouldn't be going on. There's a lot of people that have no business being here. Are those people us? Maybe we need to get the fuck on. Or are those people them? Either way, somebody has to leave. What Mercury does, I'm back on the element now, is it always finds itself, no matter what. And they say that even if it were to go into every corner of this room, if you give it enough time, the time is so important. The time is where all the value is. There is nothing more valuable than time itself. And what is time? It cannot be contained. It shouldn't even have a name. That's already just offensive, but that's what we've done. When that time happens and it occurs, then after that, you have the harvest, seed time and harvest. And the harvest is that it will always find itself again. Mercury will always attract itself to itself like a magnet. And it's always going to come in this shape. Or if it's sitting on the surface that's flat, it'll be kind of flattened on the bottom, right? But it's going to bloop, it's going to always bubble. Okay, flat earthers, y'all feel me? That was a joke. That was weird. Sometimes I really hate people. But then I realized, no, I don't. And then I have to realize, what do I hate? I hate their actions. But do I really? Because sometimes I like it. So then do I hate myself? Maybe I hate the way that I perceive things. Oh, so then I can change it. So then I can change my mind. I don't have to perceive something that way. I don't have to receive something that way. A person, that's why they say ignorance is bliss. That's why they say that Eve ate from that tree of knowledge. But by gaining that knowledge, it then made us more dumb. Because now we understand that there's more than one viewpoint. Before, when it was just I am, that's all there was. And you're fucking flying and you're just floating. Whatever, it's not a thing. Well, essentially, to me, whether the universe is doing this physically or not, I don't know. I think it could be. But I think energetically, as humans, what we're trying to do is on such a grand scale, no matter what across the board, that I do agree, is that we have to come together from the inside first. Like, it's like a zipper. I don't zip from a narrow place, and then that's called unzipping, right? But that's perspective. Because why do we acknowledge time going clockwise? Okay, my reversologists. Why do they, the powers that were, have us acknowledging time counterclockwise is the way that the earth spins? Hey, that's what they said. I don't give I didn't make this up. So you telling me that the earth is going in a direction, even though there's nothing to compare it to spatially, it's so big. But there's science, there's math, that they've had a baby together and they can tell you how and why and what all formulas that they use to get to that. Okay, fine, so we're just going to take that and accept it for what it is. Boom. We're going counterclockwise then. It's cool. So why the fuck are we looking at the clock again and talking about clockwise? The Milky Way also goes clockwise, right? The sun also goes clockwise, right? Or is it counter? No. Everything goes counterclockwise. Duh, that's what I'm trying to say. See? That's how trippy it is. Everything goes counterclockwise. It's kind of like that. This is what you call the Fibonacci sequence. Okay? So why? What slick bitch thought it would be funny to call what we do counter? You mean to tell me the devil put on a suit, called himself God, and starts telling you this story about all these great things that he does? Oh, but by the way, in case somewhere along the way somebody comes up to you and lies, don't worry, that's the devil. Shh. He gonna probably try to tell you he God or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, bruh. So we're acknowledging everything the wrong way. It's that simple. Change your mind. Change your mind. Change your mind. Whatever it is, whatever problems you have, change your mind. You have the reparations now. You have the power now. You have the time. You're gaining some time back now, but the portal don't stay open, baby. Take advantage while you can. Take advantage now. You need to take advantage of the time that you have. How many people have had to pay their rent the last year? I'll wait. What happens is, poor people, what do they have? Nothing but time. But who do they give it to? To the lion. Why? Because they're hoeing. Well, how do you get turned into a hoe? If you weren't hoeing before. A good pimp. A real good pimp. What does that even mean? Metaphorically, I mean, the way that the systems are set up and designed are to hoe us out. Hoe us on, hoe us in, hoe us over, hoe us under. They gon' hoe the hell. They're gonna hoe with us and for us as long as we hoeing. What is hoeing? Hoeing is removing the weeds from around the seeds that you have planted that are supposed to bring forth harvest in your life. That's really what a hoe is. It's a tool. But if you're overused, you too can break. Now you're mortal. See what happens? Now we have to going on and being mortal because we no longer just have one viewpoint, which was everything. We now have divided viewpoints. So now that we're divided, the energy's divided. It's not as powerful, blah, 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 blah. So the hoeing, just like water or oxygen, they're good. You need to do it. You need to breathe it. You need to drink it. You are it. But that's not all. Go on. Keep going. Keep pushing. Don't stop until you fucking stop. Whatever little teeny tiny bit of fight or power or energy you have, what are you going to use your last bit of energy for on this planet when you're dying? Let's talk about death. People don't like to talk about death because they're scared. I don't think that being scared helps you though. There's nothing wrong with being scared. There's nothing wrong with having scary moments. But you must be brave. You cannot be brave unless you are scared. Message! He got the fax machine. Being brave cannot happen unless you are scared. You must have a fear and overcome it. Now, as an adult, I can tell you I don't have any. I never had any. But if I go back to my childhood, I can find my first. And I'm such a mastermind that, it pretty much stopped there. I pretty much kind of knew how to aspect that throughout the rest of my life. I, some type of way, understood the way you do anything is the way you do everything. And if life is going to hand this to me right now, from the beginning, then this is what life is going to be. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. The way that anything is done is the way it always will be done, meaning the system upon which it's used to get to this result. Can the results change? Yes, because things change. But that's because your system has stayed the same, but the things around you are moving. So that's why, even if you do the same thing every day, that's why treat people how you want to be treated does not work. We don't live in that direction, and they have fooled you. They have fooled me. They have fooled a lot of us. But we don't have to be fooled anymore. This is Aquarian age. This is information. And I'm the forecaster. I am the news lady. I'm here to tell you the tea, the weather, what you need to wear, what's going to be going on. It's not about what's going to happen. Nobody actually cares about the weather on the Weather Channel. What they care about is who's delivering it. If somebody's bringing you good news, but you don't like that person, that's going to be weird. It's like you're going to have to force yourself, right? But that's like also on the opposite, someone who is, to you, they look like wow, because it's a visual thing. Or maybe it's a feeling thing. Something very shallow. Something very one, not dimension, because you need a whole fucking plane to even have a dimension. And let's just be honest. That's, in order to have a plane, you need 4 points. And in order to have 4 points, That means you select 2. So that means things are not positive or negative. Things are positive and negative. Things are also this and that. Whatever that is, toxic and divine, positive and negative, matte and shiny. There's always 2. That's why we think we live in a duality. This ain't a duality. This is a quadality, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. This is a 4. We need 4 points, and we keep pushing one out. Why? It's easy to do that when you're only given half of the characters. The Latin language has 56, 52. We have 26. We have half. So when they talk about being oppressed, when they talk about systematically being held down and held back, when we talk about these things, it is actually on much more of a very basic, easy to explain level than we think. It's not so deep and gushy. It's very plain, and it's written in front of you. It's hidden in plain sight, and it's in reverse. But it's in reverse more than once. So if you really want to do the math, what happens is people get overwhelmed, and they get lazy, because you're responsible now. Now you're responsible for doing the math. You don't need a calculator. You need to do the math. If you don't have the answer, you need to take your time. You need to process slower in order to be more accurate. The more you practice precision and perfection, that system in itself will perfect. But people are too lazy. They only do what they want to do. When I tell you that inner agriculture is rooted in love and based on truth, vanity, and freedom, I have to explain that vanity is the opposite of ego for people to even understand where I'm coming from. I shouldn't have to do that. But it's just a thing, because what's going on right now? This is the confusion. This is the we've been given half. We've been given half. So we're only working with half. So we have to excuse ourselves. We have to exercise patience. And we have to exercise empathy. No more of this simp shit. Kill it. Or I'll kill it for you. Empathy. You don't need to put you need to aspect the snake in any of this. If we exercise empathy, we don't have to fake or pretend. When you're exercising, Rashad, hi Rashad. Of course you do everything and anything passionately. We know where your son was, sir, Mr. Scorpio. You know, they say that Scorpio and Virgo used to be together. I am Virgo, my little brother Scorpio. A lot of my closest people, men in my life, are Scorpio. Yes, they're the passion. They don't mind. See, the Scorpios, they like that. They like the spice that I bring. The shot, it's like I bring light to the dark side. That's what I do. I am rooted in light, so I reach for the darkness. I have to love what I hate, because that's my job. People, and this person, I don't know who this person is with that name, Storm Ready, but every time I'm channeling something deep and then a storm comes outside, it's always when this name pops up. 3 times in a row now in the past week. Your son is a Scorpio, Mr. Vito. Is he very passionate, very sensitive? Is he like, there's no 13 zodiac? They all swear they're gods. They know what's up. The Scorpios know what's up. It kind of stops right there, actually, low key. That's kind of where, when you talk about people in the zodiac, aspected in the zodiac, the ones that give a fuck more about astrology than others, right around between Scorpio and Sagittarius, that's where, whatever that 13th thing that they're talking about, the Appa, Upa, whatever that other 13th zodiac is, probably right there where that one is. I need to do more research. But that's where the cutoff is. That's where people don't, those people starting with Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, they don't give a fuck about zodiacs. Whatever. They don't care. Some of them might be into it, yes. They might believe it, they might know it, they might study it, they might not. But they really just don't care. Those people, from what I can tell, they don't give a fuck. Now you start to get into more of the Pisces. Aquarius, Pisces, Aries. You see, all of this system that we're in used to make a lot more sense before they bastardized it. Before they really just went buck wild and started raping them out of it. You know what I mean? Oh. I feel like I'm gonna make my lip bleed. It's like, I see all my gods showing up, okay? Hercules too, I love it. Storm Readies and all kinds of craziness. Prodigies, yes, oh my God. Can I tell y'all something? I love y'all. I love what I've curated thus far. I'm pretty damn impressed, because everything about your life should be a reflection of everything about your life. And if it's something that you don't like, go tend to it. Go prune that shit. Go hoe it. Throw that shit away. Pull them weeds up. Whatever it is. You know what I mean? Everything should reflect you. Even your dirt. Even your scum. When your toilet is dirty, when your kitchen is dirty, whatever kind of dirt grows there, because that's where it's at. That's the secret in the communications. It's in the liquid. It's in the air. This is where the communication is. This is the Aquarius. This is the aqua and the air combined. It's in the waves, baby. It's in the vibes.
Stereo